All right, Wesley and Ashlyn, open your language books up to page 121. We actually are beginning review for a test that you're going to have coming up soon. So no new things until our test. So look at page 121, write A. It says for every verb, write two other verbs with the same or a closely related meaning. You may use a dictionary. Of course, no one uses dictionaries anymore, so you may Google it if you need to. Turn. What are two different words that we could use for turn? Two different verbs. Two different verbs that we could use for the word turn. We could use spin. We could use twirl. So these are all words for the name, are different verbs that you could use for the verb turn in order to make a clearer picture. If you were writing about Sally turning around 3 times, you could say Sally twirled 3 times. Sally spun around 3 times. You could use different words. Another verb for the word looked could be to see, or to gaze, or to stare. Another word for the word put could be to set, to place. More words for the word save. You could save something, you could treasure something, you could keep something. Another word for the verb said, you could say spoke or answered. Another word or other verbs for the word take, snatch, grabbed. Those are other verbs for the word take. For the word throw, you could say toss or pass. And for the word work, you could say job. Well, no, because we're talking about a verb. So worked, raked, mopped. So you wouldn't say mom worked in the kitchen. You could say mom cooked, mom mopped, mom cleaned. These are all verbs that could take the place of the word work. Look at remember D. It says write in the correct answer. A verb shows action or state of being. Number 3, write 3 action verbs. You just wrote 20 action verbs up there in the list. You can choose 2 of those action verbs to write, or you can choose 2 more of your own. Letter 3, write all of the state of being verbs. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. Say it again. Am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. And then it says a verb phrase is made up of a verb and 1 or more helping verbs. Number 5, write all of the helping verbs. Have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could. Number 6, verbs which end in ed or ing must always have a helping verb. Look at thing C. It says underline the verb 2 times and in the blank write action or being. The class was discussing a new project. I see a word in there that's always and forever a verb was, but I also see something that I can stand up and do that ends with an ing. Discussing. So was discussing is our verb. Discussing is something you can stand up and do, so that is an action verb phrase. AV on the line. Class members had suggested several good ideas. I see a word in there that's always and forever a verb. That's all it can be on our verb list. Had, helping verb list. So it's helping another word. I see a word beside it that ends with an ed. Suggested. Can you stand up and suggest? Yes, you can. Had suggested is our verb phrase. And because we can stand up and do it, it is an action verb phrase. The lobby needed a new water fountain. I see a word in there. Okay, guys, halt. Put on the brakes. Go back to section 6. Verbs which end in ing or en, not ed, I'm sorry, en, need a helping verb. Because look at number 3. The lobby needed a new water fountain. Our verb is needed, and there's no helping verb in that sentence. So it's E for helping verbs, it's ing and en. I do apologize for that. So needed is our verb in number 3. Turn to page 122. It says the old water fountains were in need of repair. Were is our verb. It's on our state of being verb list. And that is our, what do we do? An action of being. That is our being verb. A water fountain would be out of our price range. I see 2 words that are always and forever on our verb list. Would be, and it's ending in a being verb, so that is a being verb phrase. Last year's class had donated a new flag. I see a word that's always and forever a verb, and then I see a word ending with ed. So, last year's class had donated is our action verb phrase. The class worried about their project. Worried is our action verb. Mr. Parkington finally called the principal Mr. Bellows. Something we could stand up and do in there? Called. Called is our action verb. Mr. Bellows was in support of a new book. A word that's always and forever on our verb list is in this sentence. Was. Was is our being verb. The class has now purchased a dictionary for the school library. A helping verb is in here. It's a helping verb. It's got to have a verb that it's helping. So has, look for an ed word. Purchased, ed or ing. Most ed words will need that helping verb. Has purchased. Very good. Look at think D. It says underline the verbs 2 times. Watch for compound verbs and verb phrases. Joseph was Jacob's favorite son. Always and forever a verb? Was. Very good. Jacob gave Joseph a beautiful coat of many colors. What did Jacob do? He gave. Gave is our verb. Joseph's hateful brothers threw him into a pit and left him there. I see a conjunction, a joining word. I have to check out and see what that word is joining. So what did Joseph's brothers do? They threw and left. So threw and left is our compound verb in this sentence. Joseph was later sold into slavery by his brothers. I see a word that's always and forever a verb in this sentence. Can be nothing but a verb. Was. This brave lad always obeyed his superiors and trusted in the Lord. So what did this lad do? I see a conjunction. Obeyed and trusted. Very good. That is our verb. Because of Joseph's faith, he was thrown into jail. I see a word that is on our verb list. Always and forever a verb. That's all it will ever be, and it is was. Very good. Joseph later interpreted Pharaoh's peculiar dream and won the Pharaoh's respect. I see a conjunction in this sentence. So, our sentence is about Joseph. So what did Joseph do? He interpreted and he won. We have a compound verb. They're very separated in that sentence. But Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dream and he won the Pharaoh's respect. So interpreted and won is our compound verb. 7 years of plenty would be followed by 7 years of famine in Egypt. So we're talking about years. And what about the years? I see some words that's always and forever a verb. One of them is helping. Would be followed is our verb phrase. Okay? Years would be followed. Number 9, God reunited Joseph with his father and his brothers. Our verb is reunited. And number 10, Joseph loved his brothers and forgave them right away. So we're talking about Joseph. I see a conjunction. We need to check it out. So Joseph loved and forgave. Forgave and loved is our compound verb. Look at remember E. It says, correct all errors in capitalization in the following sentences. Draw a line through each incorrect small letter and write the correct capital letter above it. So the fall sale will start on Friday, November 20th at 7 o'clock p.m. So all we're looking for is capitalization. So the is the first word in a sentence. Capitalize it. Do we capitalize fall? Think before you answer yourself, before you talk to yourself. No, we do not capitalize fall because it is a season. Seasons are not capitalized. I see a day of the week, Friday. I see a month of the year, November. So the, Friday, and November would be our capital letters in that sentence. We saw the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, and the National Air and Space Museum on our trip. So we had a lot of specific places that we visited on this trip. Every specific place will need to be capitalized. So, of course, the first word in the sentence, that's Miss McDermott's biggest pet peeve, not to capitalize the first word in your sentence. Would be capitalized Washington Monument. That is a particular thing or place that we went to see. Lincoln Memorial. That is a particular place or thing we went to see. And National Air and Space Museum. Every word that I just said. National Air and Space Museum. Actually not the and, but everything but the and. So that is a particular place or thing that we went to see. Number 4, I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for forgiving me. So, first word of the sentence, I, and I should always be capitalized anyways, Wesley man. Always the word I. Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So Lord, Savior, Jesus, and Christ should all be capitalized. Any name referring to any person, but especially, the creator of the universe. Did you know that C.S. Lewis wrote The Horse and His Boy? So, the first word in the sentence, did. C.S., the Ellen Lewis, the horse, his boy are the words that should be capitalized. The Horse and His Boy is the title of a book. We capitalize the first and last sentence of titles and all the important words in between. And wouldn't be capitalized because it's not really an important word. Okay? And that is it. You do have a quiz today for your interactive worksheet. So complete that quiz to complete your language for today.